What's up? Good morning. Good afternoon if you're on the East Coast. This is what I'm going to call 49ers on SITV. We're your host, Cohn and Parker Hurley. We both cover the 49ers on SI. Check us out, 49ers, si.com/NFL/49ers/on SI. All right. So we got injury updates. We got projections, predictions. We'll find out later today the injury designations for each player. I'm guessing we're going to get a bunch of questionables. We're going to start with Trent Williams. He actually practiced yesterday, didn't play the last two games, hasn't played a full season since 2013. So read into that as you may. He seems like he's going to play. What do you think his presence does for this matchup? How does it change the equation, Parker?
I think it gives them a chance. Without Trent Williams, you could almost say it's so slim that they could really pull this off on the road without their star left tackle, who I'm kind of cherry picking stats here because I know he played one snap against the Chicago Bears and they won. But I mean, since they've acquired Trent Williams in games that he started, they're 4-12 overall. They were 1-6 last year. They're now 0-1 if you count the Seattle game. Like I said, I know I'm cherry picking because they did beat Chicago, but it's such a different defense in terms of Chicago and Seattle. And when you think of who does Philly emulate more, or who are they more similar to, Chicago or Seattle, you definitely lean to Seattle and think when they face these tough defenses and you get a star like Trent Williams is missing and it comes down to Austin Pleasant, it changes everything. And then you think the biggest thing is that the Eagles are very strong in their interior defensive line. Jalen Carter is probably their best defensive lineman. Yep. Jordan Davis is having a huge breakout season. You need to slide protection to the interior. So you need to leave Trent Williams on an island. You can't leave Austin Pleasant on an island against really any of those edge rushers. The Eagles don't have, their strength isn't their edge rushers, but they're talented enough that you can't have Austin Pleasant out there. So you need to shift everything over to Jalen Carter's side. And if you have Pleasant out there, all of a sudden Carter's getting way too many one-on-one matchups, and that becomes a huge problem. So it's a ripple effect. It's a domino effect of losing Williams. I don't think they have a chance without him.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they need his pass protection. He's way better than Austin Pleasant's. But it seems like what the Niners need to do to win this game is run the ball effectively. And they really couldn't. To me, against the Seahawks, what fell apart without Trent Williams more than anything was the run game. Obviously, their pass protection suffered as well, but they couldn't run the ball whatsoever, anywhere. Right. Between the tackles, left, right, out, nothing. And if they can't do that against the Eagles, they're going to lose. The Eagles are better against the pass statistically than the Seahawks. Their run defense statistically is mediocre, and you can see why. They're really great up the middle, and the Niners aren't going to be running successfully behind Jake Brendel in this matchup. If they're going to run anywhere, it's going to be behind Colt McKivitz and Trent Williams. So now you have an opportunity to have not just a right-handed running game, but like a two-pronged running game, left and right. It could work. It's their only path to victory in this game.
Right. And the thing is that for the most part, like you're saying, is that the Eagles aren't going to respect the 49ers running game is really what it's going to come down to. They're going to sit back and say, Brock Purdy, who has the tendency to want to be a playmaker, to want to take those shots down the field, and it obviously against the Colts and the Titans and the Bears even, it works, when Brock Purdy creates down the field. But Vic Fangio is going to say, I'm going to sit back and force you to dink and dunk and force you to take, eat your vegetables and force you to, make the correct pass consistently and not be that off-script player. And when you do, you're going to pay for it. And he's going to, test Purdy to do that. And without a run game, he's going to sit back. And I don't see Purdy being able to do that. With a run game, now the players start to creep in. Now you start to gain that respect. And now that's where the explosive passes start to come from. And the reality is it controls the clock, which, the Eagles offense maybe isn't their strength, but we know the 49ers defense. The way the 49ers are going to win is their defense not being on the field as much as possible. And the easiest way to keep the 49ers defense off the field is to keep their offense running the football, running clock. So yeah, definitely makes sense.
Yeah. Why is Kyle Shanahan so great sometimes and so bad against other coordinators? I think we saw it last week. He got utterly dominated. What Kyle Shanahan wants to do, I'm not saying he's a gimmick coach, but he's trying to do the same thing in every game. He's trying to get you to overcommit to stop his run game. So he wants you in your base defense. He wants you in an 8-man front so that he can create explosive plays through the air. Right. That's his game. He's like a basketball coach who wants to shoot 53s again. It's all about explosive plays. Forget 2-minute offense, situational football, third down. We are getting explosive plays. and we're tricking you into giving them to us by freaking out about our running game. It's not about that. What the Seahawks were able to do, they never were in their base defense, not one snap. They were in nickel or dime the entire game, and they played 2 high safeties. We can stop your run game without overcommitting to it. And when Kyle faces a defense that can do that, he generally scores very few points and loses. And that's, again, what the Eagles are going to do. They're not going to be able to do it as well as Seattle, but that's what they're going to do. They're not going to give them an 8-man front. They're not going to make it easy to get explosive plays. Like you said, you got to eat your vegetables, don't be greedy, and execute long drives. It's what you did with Mac Jones. Brock Purdy has the talent to do it. You just got to call the game correctly.
Right. And it's just like you said, Philadelphia, and it's like I keep saying, is that Philadelphia runs a similar defense to Seattle. Cooper DeJean is, not going to come off of the field. They're going to run nickel consistently, and Cooper DeJean can defend the run without, putting those extra bodies in there. So it becomes that issue of, okay, Shanahan, you can put Juszczyk out there. And typically when you put Juszczyk out there, we bring a big body out there. And now you have a slow body out there to attack in passes. No, that's Cooper DeJean now. So like you said, it just doesn't work for Shanahan in this matchup. And honestly, sometimes, it comes down to Shanahan outsmarts himself. Sometimes the scheme. Sometimes in the NFL and in football, when you are just not the stronger team and you get punched in the mouth and you are not, tougher up front, sometimes it just doesn't matter. Like Seattle has Leonard Williams and Byron Murphy, and they just punch those dudes in the interior in the mouth, and they were in Brock Purdy's lap, and they were in the run game. And it just didn't really matter. And like I said, you look at Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter, and you could say scheme this, scheme that. If, like you said, if Jake Brendel's just getting destroyed, and if Spencer Burford is your third guard, and now he gets Jordan Davis, who weighs 330 and runs a 4.5 or whatever, a 5-something, and could just attack. Sometimes you just don't have it. So I mean, it's going to be really interesting to see if they can get that push up front.
Well, okay, it looks like Trent Williams probably going to play. We'll see later on today.